Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well out there. I thought I'd do a video just to share what I've got coming up because honestly, there's quite a lot that's happening recently, um, especially project wise and release wise. So I want to keep up to date. Now, the first thing you can do if you want to follow the projects that I'm doing and support them is to sign on to my newsletter, which is in a link below. That's probably the easiest way not to miss anything. Social media doesn't always show you everything, and you just can't capture everything that's going on. So my newsletter is the best way to keep a hold of what I'm up to, as well as my website. All those links are below. One of the things I want to tell you about was this February 15th, Taki and I, along with artist Eric Donovan, we're going to be, and our friend Chris Northrop, we're going to be over at um, Things from Another World, which we'll be discussing the Black Box Chronicles. It's an in-store signing event. Um, Black Box Chronicles is a science fiction anthology that was put together, um, pardon me, that we're a part of, and I did a story with a friend of mine, um, Sean McManus, who we've been pals with for a really long time. There's tons of great artists involved in this and writers. Taki wrote a story. David Mack did the cover. It's a really good science fiction anthology that's all put together behind this idea of like in the future there are black boxes like there are in planes, and there's these investigators who go out and they get the black boxes after some sort of event happens, and they piece together the story afterwards. So it's these wide a range of stories told through the lens of this Black Box Chronicles. So we'll be doing that. Thanks from Another World over in Portland um, on the 24th. Okay, yeah, on the 24th. Here's another little poster they put together. This is really cool for this in-store signing event. Um, Eric will be there. Here's some of the art that you can see for the book. Like I said, it's really good. This will be at the Beaverton location, as you can read. I'm really bad at this. I'm sorry. I'm not good at communicating what I'm doing. I'm just better at just doing stuff. But anyway, here's the poster. Taki's going to be there. Our friend Chris is going to be there. And I hope you're going to be there. I hope you're going to come out and check this out and pick up a copy. Blue Book. Blue Book is coming back. We had our first volume out there, where we did the Betty and Barney Hill story. Lots of fun. Did really, really well. We had all these great covers to it. We're going to continue with all these amazing cover artists. If I was smarter, I would have gotten all that prepared here. But I felt like if I just kept putting stuff together, I'd never just do the video and tell you what we're doing. So I believe this comes out next week. It was the 14th or 15th or something like that. It's Blue Book 1947 #1. We start to cover things like Kenneth Arnold, who had the very first UFO sightings here in America. We cover the early beginnings of the actual Project Blue Book. We cover some of the hoaxes, some of the government cover-ups, all of the lore that sort of became the backfill or the foundation of American lore for the UFO stuff. We cover some of the Men in Black information goes in there. This is sort of the stuff that all led up to, even if you're just sort of tangentially interested in this stuff, this like the background for the X-Files and all that. It also really informs if you are up to date on what's happening now in the UFO disclosure area. All these new videos you might have seen on the news of things in the air and talks of drones and all that. A lot of that history just seems to be repeating. A lot of the things that are happening now, you can trace back to these earlier events, and it really does seem like UFO lore is repeating itself. I don't know whether or not we're truly being visited or not. I'd like to think we are, but it definitely also feels like there's a lot of government mishigash going on. Let's just say that. Whether it's covering up secret projects or there's technology that somebody has that's a little bit more advanced. There seems to be a lot of this thing that happens in the UFO lore where we go ahead and the government will announce that it knows something, and then it pulls back and then says it doesn't know what you're talking about, and It's very strange. So you see a lot of that happening in the news right now. Here's one of the covers was for an incident out here in Washington called Maury Island, where there was a UFO that was supposedly seen over the bay that was damaged in some way and dropping out like weird metal was leaking out of it and stuff. And it ties into some weird stuff that eventually ties into the JFK assassination. It's pretty insane. Here's the cover for Blue Book 1947, number one. This is Kenneth Arnold in front of his airplane. He was flying really near here. It was in between Mount Adams and Mount Rainier, where he saw the UFOs that he first coined as flying saucers. And he didn't call them flying saucers because they were round like saucers. He called them flying saucers because their movements was like a saucer being skipped over the water. It was this kind of weird undulation shape to them. And he has a really interesting history, which we cover as well. Really, unfortunately, small cover here. This is a great cover. I wish I had written down the names of the different artists who did stuff. We have a great one with Cully Hamner. He does like a alien autopsy piece that's really amazing. Dark Horse been using that a lot, so you would have seen it. This is one of my favorite covers that I've ever done. Mostly because I just really like the concept to it. I always admire artists who have these great concept pieces. So it's not just like good composition or crazy looking cool cover. Like there's a story behind it. And so I was proud of coming up with this one of somebody like peeking through their blinds at the Men in Black. So we do cover some of that Men in Black stuff here. This is for issue 3. Dark Horse next week it'll be out, 1947 number 1. So check it out. I believe also next week, and this is why I'm doing these videos, is because there's so much going on. Also next week, Murder Inc. Jagger Rose, the trade paperback comes out. This is the 3rd volume by Brian Michael Bendis, Taki Soma, and I in our neo-noir mafia story. We love the idea of mob stories and the mafia genre, but it has been done to death. It's been done to death in film, in books, and in comics, and it's very hard to find new ways of going about it. And years ago, I kind of came up to Brian, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, what do you think it would be like if, in the 70s and 80s, the FBI didn't take down the mob, and what would the world be like?" And he was like, "Oh, this is a great idea," and we just ran with it. Taki's colors on these are amazing. She is telling story with her art. She's not using sort of abstract colors and such. And in this arc, we head out to the Vatican. So the world gets bigger, the stakes get higher. Really crazy things happen to the characters. If you read the first volume, you're going to want to follow up with these. And I think we have some pretty amazing announcements coming out about Murder Inc. I'll leave it at that because it's a little early right now. Also, when I did these covers, if you own the individual issues, all of the covers combine to make one large image. As you can see here, I also recorded this entire process. So there's over 20 hours of process for this from the very beginning to the very end, everything. So you can see my sketches in there. You can see where I used photo reference, how I used photo reference, where I was using some models. All of it's in there, and I record the entire process from the beginning to the end, except for the colors. So we got to get Taki to start recording some of the color process. But yeah, I'm really, really proud of this. We should make a poster or something. And that's one of the next steps is our store, the website store. We're going to start selling our books signed through them, and also start to offer products like posters and limited prints and stuff. So that's Murder Inc. That is coming out next week. Brand new trade. It's really good. I promise you, we do some amazing stuff in there. It's one of our favorite books. So please be sure to check it out. These are from Project Monarch. Project Monarch came out recently. I think it came out in February, March. I don't know, earlier this year this came out. This is me and Victor Santos doing a conspiracy theory satire. I love conspiracy theory. Obviously, the whole field has gotten kind of dark and weird. You know, the conspiracy stuff it went from sort of the outside the box thinking kind of stuff, sort of American folklore, sort of what is ism, as well as, you know, the real actual conspiracies that happen. One of them is this thing called MK Ultra, which is so dark and so bizarre and so far out there, but it's all very well documented, all very much real. it is the slippery slope. It's just this sort of like spider web trap of conspiracy theories. And I think if you start to seriously investigate or read about that, it makes everything else easier to believe, because this is so far out there and so dark, but very much real. There were congressional hearings about it, like all this mind control stuff. And the mind control stuff is like the light end of it. Like it gets weirder and darker than that. I've also been very much obsessed with Stanley Kubrick conspiracies. And I love the way that the theories are able to break down what his films are about and make a fairly good argument about it, even though that they're all different and of different conjectures. So as you can see here, I have my version of Stanley is not real Stanley Kubrick. He's named Stanley Bowman. Bowman, named after the astronaut from 2001. We do some weird psychedelic stuff here. This Stanley is getting advice from Jesus Christ on a toast. His image is burnt into toast. When he takes some mushrooms, he can talk to Christ and get some advice on how to fight the evil empire that is the Illuminati. He would play around with some of the imagery and stuff. This is Victor Santos's art. He's so fun. He's so good. My Spanish brother from another mother, as I like to say, he's probably the only person in comics who works more than I do. So that is already out. Dark Horse Comics. It's a single trade paperback. It's a one-time purchase. Just get it. You'll have fun. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in there. I try and keep it fun. It gets dark, but it's, I think it's pretty funny for the most part. Yeah, so there we go. So please check that out. If you like fringe stuff, if you like weird conspiracy and UFO stuff, there's some weird like Bob Lazar stuff in there if you know that he's about. I make references to all kinds of the conspiracy stuff. So yeah, check it out. It's me and Victor Santos, Dark Horse Comics. Just a simple graphic novel, easy to grab. And that one's already out. Sleeping While Standing, I just got to throw this in here. Taki's book, her biography about her life is amazing. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you say, what the fuck? From Avery Hill, it's a graphic novel. You can get it from any of your favorite comic book stores or online book places that you can order, so please check them out. And then here's the one that was just announced. This is William of Newbury. I have been working on this for a little over a year, well over a year. It's 4 issues. I wrote, drew it, colored it, lettered it, did everything. It is the project I'm most proud of. It's the first thing I've written that I didn't feel like I had to make a caveat afterwards of like sort of it's a little too dark or it's too weird or I was going through something. It is based on historical fact. It is based on the actual writings of William of Newburgh. William of Newburgh was a medieval historian, a monk in the 12th century. He wrote about a time period called the Anarchy. It was England's first civil war. And all kinds of crazy stuff was going on. There was like, England could have had a queen at the time. It was Queen Matilda or Empress Matilda, who was promised a throne. And then their cousin, Stephen, I think his name is Stephen Dubois. I'm bad with these names. Basically took the throne from her. And then there was a civil war for like 40 years. So this guy, William Newberry, was recording this time period. And he wrote in a very serious way other things that were going on, which included reports of revenants and which are zombies and ghosts. And he wasn't reporting them like folklore. He was reporting them as these were facts reported to him at the time, which makes sense because they were, monks living in a spiritual world at that time. These rules all didn't seem too crazy to them and stuff. So each of these stories, A Serious Nuisance in Buckinghamshire, Rich Rogue of Berwick, and there's a couple others I don't want to just ruin. I don't want to spoil too much of them. These are the names of actual cases that he wrote down. So if you look up these stories like A Serious Nuisance in Buckinghamshire, you will find what the story is. Now I changed the stories for the comic for several reasons, mostly just to for narrative reasons, to make them fit my purposes. There's one big storyline here, which is about William and his brother, who is also a monk. And it's about them kind of trying to save their souls in this world that's evil. So if you like Hellboy and Usagi Yojimbo, Secret of Nim, obviously my work on Mice Templar, you're going to enjoy this. And this comes out, May. So so right now it's available for pre-orders. It's 4 issues. If you follow me on social media, you're going to see a lot of the work. So William is investigating these ghosts and demons, and helping people through these issues. There is, I think, an interesting take on all this for me. Like when I'm doing this anthropomorphic stuff, unlike my Templar, this has people in it. There's a reason for it. So you'll see some religious iconography, and a lot of it has people, and you're going to see people sort of like in the angels and demons and stuff. But everybody here in this story is represented as animals, and that's done for a reason. So I think this is a really fun, spooky, anthropomorphic book that has a specific point of view. Hopefully, one that's kind of original, we haven't seen before. This is all the art I'm going to show for now, but there's going to be a lot more coming out again on my social media, on in my newsletters. Dark Horse, 4 issues. I'm really happy with this. I hope you follow me through this adventure. And I think that's all that's really going on right now. So we've got William of Newbury is coming out soon. You can pre-order that now. Project Monarch's already out, so you can grab that anytime. Murder Inc. Jagger Rose. The individual issues are out, which all connect to make this one big cover. And on top of that, we've got the trade coming out next week. And there's kind of a really exciting announcement coming out soon, but I can't say it yet because it's still too early, but pay attention. And Project Blue Book is coming out. Also at the same time, the first trade is out, and now this new series is beginning with James Tinian. And I'll be doing signings for the Black Box Chronicles. I believe we're doing an event at the Wacom building here in Portland. I believe so. I think that's February 15th. I didn't prepare quite good enough, but that's like 5 things to pay attention to in this immediate future. And if you want to support me, just come on over and sign up for the newsletter. I think that's your best way to keep track of my projects. Ask questions here. I will be sure to answer. And I think that's it for now. So just thank you for all of your support, and I'll try and do more of these. Maybe I'll get brave and do one of them live. Yeah, we'll try and do that. We'll try and do it live sometime. And when I do it live, I'll again, sign up for my newsletter. I'll say so in the newsletter. It'll be easy to not miss. All right. Thank you so much. Take care.